Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Louisa Lions School Game Day. I'm thinking about college game day here with Dickie Lee Corso Purcell and Byron Melhalf. We're the straight guys, Byron.
Yeah, I guess we are. Exactly right.
All right, Dickie, biggest game of the year for both teams. Monticello comes in 6-0. Louisa comes in 6-0.
That's right. And Tommy, this is a can't miss game in the jungle tonight. The winner sits in control of first place in the Jefferson District, waiting in the wings to do battle with both schools. It should be an excellent football game tonight. The last 4 weeks in the Jefferson District shape up to be very exciting because Charlottesville's got to play both of these schools. Louisa and Monticello play tonight. Orange is also a team that I don't think anybody can completely overlook. And I know what Jesse Lohr said at the beginning of the season. One of his goals,
that battle of the Gordonsville Tasty Free. Byron, we talked about the weather too, and actually the Lions probably like wet weather tonight.
I think it does play to their favor, Tommy. But from a coaching standpoint, I'm sure both of them are saying, there's a lot of things we can control. We can't control the weather. So both teams are going to be playing in the exact same conditions. But I think that Louisa is a lot of things. They're not really a finesse team. So a little bit of a wet track might be in the Lions' favor.
All right, and we're going to have some interesting guests as the night goes along here, too. We're going to try to stay on the air as long as we can with the battery-operated computer here. And we're going to be doing a little more of the video, probably more. If you want to go to YouTube, you can catch it on YouTube at the Central Virginian, the YouTube, or you can go to the it's going to have our usual broadcast type thing, and we'll be back again at 7:20 with that. But, Dickie, we sit there and we say that homecoming, which is going to be emotional for Louisa. It's going to be the dedication of the field also.
that's right. They're naming the field tonight after Coach Mark Fischer, Tommy, and I think that is well-deserved, no question about that. A little bit of history of Louisa football, 49 through 1986. The Lions were known as the Rebels. That's what they were when you and I was in school, involved back in the 50s. But in 1977, the name became the Lions instead of the Rebels, and they've been the Lions ever since then. Came here, I believe Louisa had lost, hadn't had a winning record for 11 years in a row when Coach Fischer came here. This program around, they had never been in we had been in the playoffs before, but never won a ball game until he got here. It was runners-up to the state championship in 2006. And he's just done an outstanding. He's put Louisa football on the map. Louisa football used to be pretty much the doormat for everybody.
Well, in the atmosphere here at the Jungle, which is going to be Mark Fisher Field now coming up, and but Byron, the atmosphere here is the thing, and that all started back about the time that Coach Fisher was coming here when athletic director Doug Straley, who we hope to talk to in just a little bit, is now superintendent of schools, kind of brought in a little of the Virginia Tech marketing to it.
Well, he certainly did. And Tommy, I can remember starting about that time, it really became an event. I mean, almost a social event. And even if you didn't like football, it was a fun thing to come do on Friday night. And they started back then and getting the community very involved in the process. And it's just grown and grown and grown. And it hasn't hurt that they got a football team just like this year that as of yet hasn't lost a game.
And the thing is, some of those fans that come in, Dickie, they sit here and they come in 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. They put their blankets down and all up in the stands, getting ready for the game.
Yeah, I've done that before, Tommy. Back in 2006, back then, I used to come down here in the morning and lay out a blanket out. That was before, we had the seat up in the press box. But I used to do that. And people were getting here. We got here a little after 4, and I see people going up there getting their seats in the stands then.
Yeah, and the weather is not deteriorating them at all.
I don't think the weather's going to keep anybody away. I think the only thing that would is if we get some lightning going on, and that's not supposed to happen. So I don't think a little bit of rain is going to keep these folks out of here. This is as big a game, I think, has been here in probably, I'd say 10 years.
Yeah, I would expect, since the Powhatan playoff game. Maybe.
Yeah, 2006 was the last year Louisa had a ball game as big as tonight's ball game. That was the year they played Orange was actually 2005, I believe.
Correct.
2006, the playoff game with Powhatan, and they had some other playoff games here. Tonight's game is the biggest game that's been here in the last 10 years. No question about it.
All right, we're going to have some of our guests start coming up in just a little bit. We got a couple of the assistant coaches and hopefully Superintendent Doug Straley, Athletic Director George Stanley, and then Damon Dillman from Channel 19 will be coming in also. So we're a big crew, and this is the first time, first time for everything.
Absolutely, and I think it should be a whole lot of fun. And there's nothing better than high school football. And when you got two teams coming in like tonight, both with aspirations of postseason play going a long way, and both these teams are hoping to be playing guys still in when December gets here. So, and I know that's one of the things in years past that Coach Fischer has always said. He schedules his practices so that he's done the midnight madness in years past, and either that or they start at very early in the morning. So his goal is to be the first team on the practice field to be the last team on the field playing.
Yep, there's only one team that comes out that has a W for that last game.
That's right. And a lot of teams say it's nothing like being able to practice on Thanksgiving Day. Don't many teams get to do that, Tommy.
That's right. And of course, we got the Lions are going to be having a huge crowd here tonight. It's homecoming also for this year. We guys were talking earlier in the week, and I used the word I use very seldom, is that we talked about both teams haven't played anybody that's got a winning record so far this year.
Well, that's a mistake.
That's what I was thinking. It was one. Monticello had one.
Yep. Spotswood, Monticello defeated Spotswood. Spotswood is 4-2. So there has been one team that's been played by Monticello that does have a winning record. They played Spotswood.
But Louisa has not played one for winning record. But the thing is, I said they will get a plethora of points tonight.
Yeah, whoever wins tonight is going to pick up some power points. No doubt about that. And that's kind of interesting, Tommy, because right now, going into tonight's game, if you look at Division 4, Dinwiddie is number 1. They got 29 points. Number 2, 28.33. They still have a game left for LC Bird, too. Monica, I think that's next week. Easton View is 7-0. They are in 3rd place. Louisa is in 4th place, but just barely behind Easton View, and I think they'll jump Easton View if they win tonight. Patrick Henry of Ashland would be who Louisa would play if the playoffs were tonight. Midlothian and Cortland is now the number 8 seed. They won 2 in a row, so apparently J.C. Hall is getting them together over there. As a key game tonight, Hanover plays Patrick Henry. Slot for making the playoffs, and Patrick Henry is currently number 5, so that game could go a long way to determining the seeding as well as whether Hanover can get in the playoffs or not.
Yeah, and the thing about Monticello is they're in a different region, Group 3, also where Louisa is Group 4.
Yep, Monticello is in Group 3, and Monticello is number 1 in Group 3. With a rating of 24.667. Heritage Lynchburg is 2nd. Brookville is where Coach Meeks is 3rd. And Spotswood, who Monticello has beaten, is 4th in that region.
All right, and we look at offenses for this tonight. And Byron, I know we talked to you a lot of times about the defense, but offenses tonight, both these teams are averaging over 40 points a game.
Yeah, Louisa's averaging 41, and I think Monticello's about the same. They're within 5 yards of each other. I think Louisa's averaging yards a game, and Monticello's 426. So these are very, very capable offenses, and they go about it a little bit different. For Monticello, everything basically runs through their quarterback, Gerald, and he can do a lot of damage. He can maybe do more damage with his legs than he can with his arm, but he's very, very capable. And so I think Louisa is going to be tested, but I don't think there's any question that Monticello is facing the best defense that they have faced all year. But I think the same can be said of Louisa looking at Monticello.
Yeah, and because of those defenses, and Dick, we'll turn to you for the defense this time. Louisa is a couple of points better defensively than Monticello is right now.
Yeah, Tommy, This is the best front seven Monticello has faced this year. And of course, they are led by two Division I prospects, Brandon Smith, who's rated a 4-star, and Tony Thurston. Brandon Smith got another offer this week from Wisconsin. He's now got an offer from Alabama, Clemson, Florida State, Ohio State, and about 15 other schools as well. So he's big time, no question about that. And this will be the best front seven Monticello has went up against this year. So it'll be interesting to see how they're able to handle that.
And when those coaches come around, Byron, and look at a player like Brandon Smith, the next thing you know, they see Malik Bell, they see Tony Thurston, they see Colin Carpenter, they see Joe Whalen, they see Raquan Jones, and all of a sudden they get on the map too then.
Well, and that's the interesting thing about Louisa is not only do they have some young men that are good football players, but these are guys that are big. I mean, these are small. They're not small guys. I had to laugh last week, Tommy, when we were shown a picture. At least I saw a picture of the private jet at Louisa International Airport with the Clemson Tiger Paw on it. And, I couldn't help but think that in years past, the only reason that plane would be there is if it was about to run out of gas. But this year they've got kids they're looking at, and it's like you said, it's amazing. And it's really a fun thing to have schools looking at kids here.
Dickie, that the biggest thing that I think about it all is that they remember Lou Gehrig didn't have a job until one day his predecessor was sick and he got a chance to play. And that's what happens a lot of times when these scouts come around, all of a sudden they see other than the one they're looking at too.
Yeah, that's right. It's exposure for everybody on the Louisa football team. And I know from talking to Coach William Patrick, who I was fortunate enough to have lunch with this week, I know that there's other people on there, that Malik Bell is getting some interest, and Whalen's getting some interest, and other kids on there that getting some interest as well. Yeah.
All right, and we're hoping the weather holds off here. We're waiting for our first guest to come on up, but Dickie, you got some more stats there. Maybe you could let people know about them more in the rankings right now. And we say Monticello, they were in 3C, I believe, is the area that they're in, the region they're in. Louisa's in 4A, I believe, East, right?
Yeah, Louisa is in, actually. Now, Max Prep ranks these teams. They don't use the Virginia High School League rankings. They have their own way of ranking teams. And Max Prep, number 1 team is Deep Creek. Number 2 is Liberty of Bealton. Number 3 is Dinwiddie. Number 4 is Louisa. Number 5 is Bird of Benton. Number 6, Easton View, and they're just rolling over people. But I talked to somebody from Culpeper today. Easton View's really not playing any strong competition at all. 7, Gilbrook is number 8. Kettle Run is number 9. Pulaski is number 10. 11. Blacksburg is 12. Glass is 13, and Charlottesville is 14.
All right, Dickie, here come our assistant coaches headed up for the interview, and I'm going to turn the mic over to you to begin with. And we'll move it around as each will have questions. Which one you want first?
Well, we'll take offense first.
All right.
Will Patrick.
Coach William Patrick will come on up. And I want to see if he's got on his championship ring. He doesn't have it on, I believe, today. Have a seat, Will, and I'm going to let Dickie grab you first by the horn.
Well, first off, ball game tonight. You've been coaching for a while down here. Is this probably the biggest ball game that you've been involved in getting ready for since you've been here, other than a playoff game?
So it's been 7 years since we had this opportunity to go 7-0. I mean, last year we had an opportunity and we came up short. So Monticello too. I remember 2011. We were both undefeated, 4-0 and 5-0, and they beat us over there. And I'll never forget what they did after the game. And I might have talked about it on the radio right now. But there's one thing that I will never forget. And I mean, this is a bitter rivalry. It's become one.
All right. And now you told me a very interesting story. We had lunch together, and I'd like for you to kind of share how Louisa got a really outstanding kicker on the football team.
Yeah, Thomas Henley was a math center tutor in my geometry class, third block last year. And I knew he played soccer. I knew he was one of the better soccer players on our team here. You ever kick your football? No. I said, you want to try? Maybe. I'm like, well, one day we're going to go outside and try it. Well, finally, one day I had some balls in my room for some reason. I was like, Tom, today's the day. So we went outside, and the kid made 5 extra points in a row. I said, let's back up a little bit. With a 25-yard field goal. I said, all right, well, that's easy, Thomas. Let's go from the hashes now. He made one from the right hash, one from the left hash. I was like, Thomas, if you want to be our kicker, it's a commitment. And he talked to his parents, and ever since then, this summer he started kicking with us in our off-season program, and he's been part of our team ever since, and it's definitely a pleasure to have on the team. He's a weapon. He made a tackle, which I don't want him really doing. I hope we don't have to make any more tackles this season. But the kid's got a leg on him. Football. About which kind of tee. There's 3 different tees you can use. There's a big block. There's a half-inch block, and then there's no block. And so the kid definitely is making our team better.
That is a weapon that Louisa's lacked in a lot of years. They had it back when he had Eric Church, but a lot of years Louisa's been kind of hurting there. Tonight, from the defensive side of Monticello, since you're the offensive coordinator, and that's what you got to prepare for.
Well, yeah, they don't change their defensive box much. They're a modern 3-4 attacking defense. They like to blitz a lot, A-gap. Our line's going to have their work cut out for them today. And Coach Clements calls our defense. He also runs our scout defense, and he was giving me headaches all week doing stuff. But that's part of what we do, though. Our plan is during the week is to put our kids in the most stressful, unpleasant environment they can be in. It shouldn't be an issue. And the kids did a good job of that. But they're going to have 7 in the box. They're going to go cover 0 on us. They're going to man us up. They're going to say, can you throw the ball? And hopefully tonight, if we have to throw it, we will. And take care of the ball. Probably use some clock management tonight, too, to keep number 5 off the field for them. And, the biggest thing tonight is we got to take care of the football. We've got 6 turnovers past 2 games. And that's been a real point of emphasis the past week. And hopefully we take care of the ball tonight. The weather, looks like it might be in our favor tonight a little bit with their aerial attack. Take care of the ball and down our blocks and hit the holes, and I think we'll be fine.
All right, I'm going to turn you over to Tommy.
All right, yeah, that was going to be my next thing was the weather. And I know Gerald, he's probably the best throwing quarterback in the district.
He's the best quarterback.
I'm hoping we got the best overall, but Gerald, he's known for his arm, but his legs are the other thing Byron talked about. He can run when he's in trouble.
Coach Clemens talked about this too. Gerald can run it, throw it. He's a competitive kid. I've known the kid now for 3 years. I know the coach pretty well. That kid's a competitor, and you can't coach that edge a kid's got. He can throw dimes all day. He can run, scramble, but they want to run the ball, and we know that. Coach knows that. Our offense being a good defense, we want to take care of the ball, control the clock when we have the ball. The biggest thing is not giving them short fields. We don't want to do that all night. If we have to punt, change field position and turnovers are going to be a big factor tonight.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is turnovers and penalties have really hurt the last few weeks. Even though they've won the ball games and won them quite easily, it's been turnovers and penalties, because I think last week it was like 75, 85 yards in penalties and about 8 penalties. And then the week before, there were 7 or 8 penalties again. Turnovers last week were a big key too.
The Western Albemarle game especially, that score, it was close there at the end, but, going on the 1-yard line, one on the 10-yard line, the kickoff return call back. Last week, it wasn't the center. We dropped a few snaps there in the beginning. They were good snaps on film. Take care of the football is number 1 priority. Not throwing interceptions, but not being scared to throw the ball either. We're not scared to throw it. Malik, if it's not there, run it, but we got a shot, take a shot sometimes. Every good coach I've ever known taking a few risks here and there.
Yeah, I tell you, David Sharp, week before last, really had, 3 weeks ago, had his career night even, and he was used not only catching the ball, running the ball, everything. And it looked like last week Powhatan was ready for the play.
Yeah, they were. It's a little bit different this year. we give Joe Williams the ball 32 times in one football game. This year, this doesn't happen. We get 15 carries, 18 carries. Malik's running the ball well. Joe's running the ball well. Raekwon's really stepped his game up. Got David and Matt West. They got Brandon that can give the ball to. Got some weapons outside. Caleb Turner's got great hands. He's a competitive kid. Noah Cobbage and Mark Carter. Mark Carter, 6'5". When you get that kid start playing some ball and being confident, I mean, he's going to be hard to deal with in the future.
I'm going to ask something personal now, too. Instilling on the players the fact that OBJMU, you made it to a championship game and won it. What do you tell the kids about?
Well, there's two things that I can't control how tall a kid is or how fast he is. But players can control two things: their attitude toward the game, toward their peers, toward their teammates and coaches. And it doesn't matter how tall you are, fast, skinny, whatever it is. If you got effort, good things happen to you. I don't care where, and that's any part of life.
Where's the JMU ring today?
Oh yeah, my finger. I'm a little bit bigger now. My finger's a little bit bigger nowadays.
All right, Byron.
As well.
They got a JMU guy over
I know
there.
my man Byron Mel out there.
Love
this guy.
Well, Coach, first of all, congratulations on the season so far. But I also understand that you all are not concentrating on the last 6 games. You're concentrating on the one you have in front of you tonight. You're averaging 41 points a game on offense. You're averaging almost 7 yards a play, which to me is mind-boggling. And I think that's fantastic. And you touched on this just a minute ago, and I wanted to ask you because as a coordinator, as a play caller, it's got to be a pretty cool thing to have 6, 7, 8 guys that you can work into the mix as far as giving the ball to and not feel like you're going to miss a beat.
Yeah, definitely. It takes a burden off of some of our guys too, because they're playing both ways this year. Talked to Coach Fischer about that a lot in the offseason. About we need to get our best players on the field at all times, and you can see what happens. Our defense is lights out, but having the ability to go right, go left, go up the middle, it's really helped. And to keep Joe and Malik, Fresher, and Raekwon's really stepped up at linebacker this year. He's been on the varsity team for 4 years. But having guys like David and Matt, Matt West, fastest kid on the team, touches. Just having the ability to call a play. Let me tell y'all, this is funny because me and Coach Fischer talk all the time. Single wing, it's always been 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and it still is for the most part. My thing is, I like 5 yards in a cloud of dust. Having the ability to go, averaging 7, that's awesome. I mean, there's been some big plays in there that's helped that a lot, but. I'm not afraid to throw the ball on first down, or run our twist play on first down, second down, third down. This year with our dynamics we have, 2nd and 10 isn't such a big deal anymore. I think it used to be.
And the one thing that he said, 3 yards in the cloud of dust. As manicured as this field is 3 yards and a grass stain, right?
And a grass stain is
definitely,
right.
Definitely great field. Great field.
And one of the things I was just thinking about, having that kicking game, having that young man that can come in and pump the ball for you, more latitude in your play selection as well. So I was interested, Coach, in when you start preparing each week for your next opponent, and you're watching film and you're seeing what they do, and are you more gearing toward their weaknesses, or are you more geared toward, look, let's just continue to improve on what we do, let's worry about us? Is there a particular philosophy, or does it just depend on the week and who you're playing?
Well, it's a little bit of both, actually. So we're a power football team, and we're going to run power. We're going to down block, and we're going to pull guards and pull tackles and sniffer backs, kick. But also we've added a few things this year and last year. I added them last year. We do a little bit more reading DNs or reading outside linebackers. Depending on what kind of fronts we're getting and what kind of movement we're getting inside, will dictate, most of the time. But at the end of the day, we're going to do what we do. For example, they didn't line up to a certain formation we were running last week very well, in my opinion. And we were able to exploit that by running a certain play a few times. So I think 2 of them led to 25, 30-yard runs. So I got guys up top. I got iPads on the sideline. I'm getting all kinds of views of what's going on. My linemen are talking to me. We're going to run power. We're going to run our single wing, our counter play. Back in the old days, you called it 126 spin. We don't full spin anymore, but we have spin nowadays. But we're going to run those plays. We're going to run wedge. If it's certain, like tonight, it's a little bit different we're facing tonight. So there'll be a little bit more wrinkles tonight. You guys will notice them probably in the first quarter. I'm not going to say anything right now. I don't know who's listening to this. But, you'll notice we're going to we've been running the first 6 games. But it's a little bit of both. So we're going to run what we run, but also whatever they're giving us, we're going to attack weaknesses. We look at see who gets the most tackles on the other team, who their best players are, things like that.
Good. All right. Good. Anything else?
No, I'm going to make one quick observation. And looking at the stat sheet, you guys are actually throwing the ball about 1 out of every 6 plays. So there's definitely more mix in there and a little more balance than maybe there ever has been. And I know back, 10 years ago when Coach Clements was playing, one of my favorite stories is Gabe Turner was coaching at that time, and he was the passing game coordinator. The man had the easiest job in the world because, Coach Clements will say, during the regular season anyway, they might have passed the ball, a dozen times the whole year. So I think Coach Turner ordered pizza up in the press box, and but things have changed a little bit. But anyway, great job, and best of luck to you tonight.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you all you guys for every week. I listen to all these. All right, every Sunday I sit down and I watch the film, and you guys do a great job.
We're not
appreciate
home.
you coming over tonight and talking to us for the ball game. Thank you, William.
All
right.
Tom, good seeing you.
All right, we'll get the defensive man in there now.
All right, man.
Hey, I'm gonna walk up. You
All right. Good.
All right.
How you doing,
Thank you.
sir?
Now,
How you guys doing?
Good.
you played in a big ball game. You played in a lot of big ball games.
Played in a lot of
especially-
big ball games.
Especially back in 2006. Now you're coaching in one. Is it? You got the nerves tonight?
But, yeah, I always get those nerves. I always get
Yeah.
the shaky hands a little bit, but that's why I stayed in the game so long. I love that feeling. That's why I came back and coached, because I love that feeling. So I love having that.
Well, your defense, as I was reading about it in the paper this morning, is rated as the top. You got the top 7 guys up front. Front defense is the top 7 guys in the Jefferson district. And he said Monticello will be facing their best defense tonight. Brandon Smith, who's 4-star, Tony Thurston. But you got some guys in the secondary that we think really been playing lights out too.
Oh yeah. I tell people all the time, those guys make my job really easy. A lot of people know it's my first year being a defensive coordinator, and when Coach Fischer asked me to take on that role, I was nervous but excited at the same time. And a cat that can play the ball like the way our all 11 of them do makes my job a lot easier for sure. Definitely got athletes for sure.
Yeah, no question about that. Now, what's your game plan? You watch Monticello on film and then adjust your defense to the things that you might have to stop tonight. That might be a little bit teams you play.
Yeah, I try to get our guys. The mentality is the most important part to me. And to have a very hard-nosed mentality on defense, so I try to keep that going. But what I try to do is get teams to play left-handed. So I look at their biggest threats, look at their what they're going to be scoring points with, and I try to take that away from them. And if I can do that, then I think we're going to be in a good spot. So that's what I try to do. Everybody knows their weapon is number 5, number 4. They got athletes. Monticello's no athlete, so it's going to be hard to cover all those things. But at the end of the day, I think if we can get after number 5 and make him throw off his heels, or make it to where he can't run as easy, it'll help us out a lot.
Hi, Tommy.
Yeah, I think pursuit may be the biggest key tonight, because of the fact that he can go back and get ready to throw the ball, and then he sees nobody's open, and all of a sudden he's going to take off. And over the past few games, I've seen good pursuit, especially last week against Powhatan. There was great pursuit when they tried to go outside.
Oh, for sure. We work on that every day in practice. We call it gang tackling the ball. Don't stop running until you're there. I tell the guys I'll mess with them like stat, because everybody's a stat guy, want to get their stats stuff. I'll give you assist if you get there and put a hand on them. So we do have that going for us. They fly to the football, so he can if he doesn't see what he likes, he'll take off running in a heartbeat, and we got to be ready for it for sure.
And your defensive backfield, Dickie alluded to, that's going to be the thing. You got two speedy guys back there too. That's the key. And they've been playing lights out most of the season, but they haven't seen the quarterback and receiving core like they're going to see tonight.
No, I agree. We've been telling them all week they got to have their best game this week. First true test, in my opinion, and we'll see what happens. I think they're more than capable. I trust them. They do, and they got to do what they do.
All right, and you look at Gerald himself, as they say, off every now and then too. Not many high school quarterbacks are going to do that, but they've got enough confidence in him that he'll sit there and every now and then check off at the line of scrimmage when he sees what the defense is.
Right. Oh yeah, he's a smart kid for sure. Like I said, we're to contain him and put pressure on him, and like you said, he's a very smart quarterback, but he's still a high school kid, and end of the day, can he make the right decision when he's getting chased or getting pressure in his face, or that's the whole goal I'm trying to go for is put some stress on him. What's going to happen to him. I've been telling the guys all week, I don't know that he's really been a lot or hit a lot. At least I haven't seen it on film, and that could be because he's a great athlete, which he is, or it could be because no one's really got to him. So I want to put pressure on him and put him under duress, so we see what happens.
Yeah, I think that'll be a key. He hasn't been rattled,
right,
as you said, during the year. I'm gonna get a little personal with you now too, and the fact that Dickie alluded to the fact that when you were playing back in high school, each year when it comes around and we're doing the first game of the year and we're trying to get numbers down, it didn't take long to get your number down on defense, and all of a sudden we say tackle by Mikey Clemens.
Well, I mean, that was back in the good old days, back in the glory days.
You remember that last interview we had too, when you sat there, and I believe it was you said, I just love the game. That's why I'm out there, and I just love the game. And here you are again.
Yeah, back at it. back at it. Yeah,
11 years later.
11 years later. Yeah, I mean, we got a bunch of former teammates, guys on that, the 06 squad. We went all the way. Guys are always asking me like, hey, are they as good as us? I'm like, hey, they got the potential. They're right there with us for sure. So I'm excited to be with this group too.
Byron, if they'd let them throw the ball back then, maybe they could have thrown to Mikey a little bit.
Maybe they could have.
I'm better at hitting.
And I'll tell you what I remember about Coach Clements, and I remember this even when I coached him in baseball. If there was one mud puddle on a 3-acre field, one mud puddle, he was going to go jump in it and roll in.
That guy.
Exactly right. He was that guy.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Coach, looking again at the stat sheet, you guys, from a defensive standpoint, you're giving up 11 points a game. And really, if you looked at your first team D, it's less than that.
Right.
And some of what's been scored against you has been pick sixes and off turnovers and things. So you're in single digits as far as what you're allowing. 156 yards a game is what you're allowing. Stat that I thought was really interesting. You guys in the first quarter this year have given up 6 points, and in the third quarter you've yet to give up a point. Is it a point of emphasis for you guys? I mean, because it certainly seems like you guys are coming out and working really hard to set the tone of the game to start each half.
Oh yeah, for sure. At the beginning of the game, we try to get that mentality with the guys to come out and set the tone. Let them know we're here. I almost think it's a bigger emphasis at halftime where we're in those guys' faces and we're telling them like game's not over. It's we got to keep going. Keep digging. Stay on the gas pedal type of mentality. So that's for sure. And I think that's on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. We try to preach that, get after it. It's not over yet, kind of thing.
And it's been a lot of fun watching your defense. And I think as Coach Patrick alluded to, you guys have taken a different approach a little earlier in the season as far as getting your best athletes on the field on both sides of the ball. And it has been fun to watch. How laterally you guys side to side, how well your defense runs. So that's gotta be a plus for you.
For sure.
Are you expecting, as far as, again, with Monticello, you expecting anything new from them that you haven't seen? You think there's going to be new wrinkles in there, or?
I mean, as the coordinator, I always try to prepare for everything. Get our guys right, and I do draw up everything for them, and draw up every play over as much film as I can find for them and formation. So they're going to do what they do because they're that kind of team. I think they're going to be a spread offense with one back, and they're going to try to run the ball and then pass the ball as frequently as they run the ball. I mean, they're that kind of squad. But I try to prepare for things that they might do. They run some unbalanced stuff that we have to adjust to, that we worked on in practice, and some double tight stuff, goal line type of situations. So try to put our guys in the best spot. But, you never know what a team's going to do till Friday night. So
Right.
We'll see, and we'll adjust.
And last question, do you guys, I mean, tonight, there's a lot of stuff going on tonight.
Right.
I mean, you got homecoming, you got the field dedication, you got all this kind of stuff. Do you worry as a coach as far as the focus of your kids?
I mean, I think there's definitely a lot of distractions, but I don't think they're necessarily bad distractions. If anything, they're uplifting for our guys. I mean, we tell our guys all the time that there's no team in Virginia that has as much adversity as we do. As far as like we've lost teammates. I mean, they've got guys that they've lost a brother. We got our Coach Fischer situation. So I mean, these guys play for. It's homecoming. I mean, it's definitely distractions and things that are in their heads. But I think at the end of the day, they know what needs to be done, and I think that uplifts them. I think they have that extra kick for them.
Final thing, Nicky?
Yep. Good luck. And we
Thanks,
really
sir.
appreciate you coming over and talking to us
Yes,
tonight.
sir.
That means a lot.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
All right.
Coach Mikey Clemens, defensive coordinator. Patrick, offensive coordinator there. And we've got coming up right now Damon Dillman, who's with Newsplex, Channel 19 and Newsplex, and appreciate you giving us a chance to come by and talk. I said we've got faces for radio.
You guys are being hard on yourselves. This is going to be fun tonight, huh? This is going to be a lot of fun. We haven't had a game like this in a long time. I know this place is crazy on any given Friday, but going on here tonight, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is what high school football is all about.
Yeah, you've probably seen Monticello more than we have. Our coaches